Hello everyone, I'm Karthik Sharma from ET Government The Economic Times. I'm the Senior Associate Editor and I welcome all of you at the ET Government Odisha Startup Leadership Conclave hosted by Startup Odisha. And we are just about to start this conference, but we have leaders along with us right now and we all are eagerly waiting for the inaugural session. But before that, let me discuss and take some ideas from the uh, leaders who are actually doing a lot in improving the ecosystem of startup, not only in Odisha but in the country. Let me start with Mr. Omkar Rai. Sir, thank you so much. Startup Odisha is today hosting this event, and we can see a great lineup of startup leaders. What are your views about it?
First of all, I must thank ET government for organizing this ET Odisha Startup Conclave. I'm very glad to be here. I must say that Odisha, we are doing a lot of things to promote the startup ecosystem. The government of Odisha believes that it is the startup ecosystem which will drive the state's economy in times to come and sustain its growth. Therefore, we are taking large number of initiative. I must say that we have a policy in place, Odisha startup policy. Uh, it's not only a very progressive policy, but the implementation of this policy is also very fantastic. We are being recognized as a top performing state by government of India very very frequently. So the point is that we not only have policy in place, but the implementation in this state is a very excellent. It's our practice now. Is we always seek excellence in whatever we are doing, in line with the kind of vision that we have to position Startup Odisha, one of the top three startup destinations in this country. Uh, a very visionary steps have been taken. Uh, to start with, I must say that we have a Odisha Startup Hub. We call it O Hub, and it is 4 lakhs square feet of space. Uh, it is one of the top three largest incubation space owned by the state in the entire country. Apart from that, our policies are very supportive. We support creation of incubation in the state. We have 26 incubators in the state. We have engaged with the entire R&D ecosystem of the state, all the research institution, higher educational institution, technology educational institution. They have been brought on board in terms of delivering services to the startup ecosystem. They work with us, work as a domain expert. They work as a kind of expert and help startups. Not only they help startup Odisha, but they also work with the startups as a mentor, as a hosting institution. And therefore, the entire ecosystem in the Odisha is absolutely geared up and working in tandem to promote the startup ecosystem, work with the young boys and girls so that they can convert their ideas into services and products and become entrepreneurs in times to come.
I think, Mr. Rai, it's great to know that the Odisha is geared up to take the startup ecosystem to the next level. And I think your experience of STPI, you have worked, you have promoted entrepreneurs there also in STPI. I think that will be used by the state of Odisha and it will help Odisha in raising up the ecosystem. I have Mr. Brain Ghose with me. Mr. Ghosh, you are country head for Technicolor and a renowned name in the corporate world of the country. I would like to know from you, first of all, welcome and thank you for joining us in this city of Bhubaneswar. What are your thoughts about Odisha and the startup ecosystem here?
Thank you very much. It's a real pleasure to be here. I've had the pleasure of working with Dr. Omkar Rai in his previous assignments. I continue to be a chief mentor for STPI in a couple of COEs in the Northeast, one for animation and one for AR/VR. And I think the learnings when we look at what do you bring to the table as state, what do you bring to the table as academia, what do you bring to the table as industry, that confluence, I think, is something we are going to explore even further today. uh, I am in the city of temples, and if you go back in time, we are storytellers, right? Technicolor is visual effects and animation and branded experiences and computer games, all of which are the craft that you bring powered by technology. Even though we talk about technology very often, let me tell you, technology needs artists, okay? Because otherwise you can't make it alive. And if you think about what was the role of a temple, the role of a temple was to be a nucleus. And that nucleus used to create many things. It used to create the stories that actually perpetuate the society of the time. Everything, including finance, by the way. They didn't have economic times. But you see, from the people that managed the society, uh, art, craft, culture, behavior, and modern words like governance and all those things all happened in the temple. So this city has got the longest history of what we are trying to do in a platform. I would call Startup Odisha more like a platform. And that platform, as he said, now is spreading across the state. But the platform needs connectivity. A platform needs aggregation. A platform needs confluence. A platform needs encouragement. This is a state that is by the seaside. And effectively, I think what you need to do is to be a harbor. People must come here and find safety in being able to do something. People must be able to find out in times of trouble where is the lighthouse. And it should be a light touch in the way that, we have always looked at such projects in the past, in order to make sure that we bring people who do not really have the confidence, perhaps not the resources, and need other things than their own skill set. There could be a person who knows finance or a person who knows something else. He may have an idea, but he may have one or two dimensions of the five or seven dimensions that he or she needs. And that is where you need to come into a place where the other complementary elements that maybe hold them back come in. And I think that is, I think, the opportunity for this state. Taking in my own company, which has at peak around 7,500 people working in India, which is about 70% of what we have globally now. Many people from Odisha are there, and many of them have an aspiration to come and do something different. And I think we would be encouraging of people that want to do something. And also, I think youngsters in Gen Z are looking to do very different things with ideas compared to 3 and 5 and 7 years back. So, if you look at the states in India, everything was brick on brick, right? Brick and mortar, and from there it became more, things that were happening with knowledge. But today, I think everything is happening with ideas. And happy to know from Dr. Rai that currently the platform already has received some 4,000 4,000 ideas. Now, it is the role of mentors to sift through them, to support them, to encourage them, to shape them, and make it a great story is one that has been worked on for a long time. So, for example, in our organization, in 1930s, we helped to bring an old tale like Robin Hood to the screen. In 60s, we brought Robin Hood to the screen. In 80s, we brought Robin Hood to the screen. 5 years back, we brought it. And no doubt, after 5, 10 years, again, it will come back. The story is shaping with the ethos and the culture of that time. It becomes contemporary in its time. So today, I would actually say that what you are doing is to create the temples of the future. And I would like to say that you have given a great name to your hub. When people see it, they should say, "Oh."
All right, great. I think definitely, and as you say, a lot of ideas are floating in this state, and Startup Odisha is doing great work to nourish and bring give a platform to those ideas. And as you say, an idea can change your life, and this can actually change the picture, the scenario of the state's startup ecosystem. We have one very key stakeholder in this system from Palladium Consulting, Mr. Amit Patjoshi, CEO. Amit, thank you for joining us here in this conclave. What are your thoughts?
In fact, thank you very much, ET and Dr. Rai and others. It's a pleasure to be here, being the son of the soil. I never thought that Odisha would be a hub for startup and entrepreneurs. While, as in everybody says, the entrepreneurial spirit is there, but somehow go to the west, it is much, much higher. But go back to our years. Recently, we concluded Bali Jatra, probably the first, uh, as in startup entrepreneurs moving beyond the boundaries of the country. So we must feel proud that we already has a rich heritage of entrepreneurs. It's all about requiring enabling ecosystem. OHAV is a fantastic example of it. Besides government of Orissa, government of India is doing a fantastic work. However, having said that, as Dr. Rai and my fellow colleagues said, is that entrepreneurs are not kind of employees, as in I'm not an entrepreneur. They just need a guiding touch. They just need a mentoring. They don't need training. They don't need freebies. They have to go through their own struggle. to ensure that that idea fructifies, their vision comes reality. And this is a fantastic platform. As in, I think it was the first conclave we are having, and with 4,000 ideas, first conclave, we are absolutely in the right direction to create that O in the hub. So welcome, Steve, and happy to contribute. As Palladium, we have been in this business of intersection of social and commercial progress across the globe since last 60 odd years. We have a significant presence in Odisha right now, and fortunate to do an interesting program in Odisha, creating entrepreneurs without freebies, without grants, purely motivated entrepreneurs who want to make a change. And I must say that this government has done something very interesting, is that when you inculcate any ethos right to the grassroots level, they make a change. We have 6 lakh SSGs, Mission Shakti, they are actually driving change. And this startup, if rightly goes to the grassroots level, is going to make a tremendous change. So as an upload to the government of Odisha and this entity to drive it further, and to ET to take it forward.
Thank you, thank you. So I think we should all be ready for a good change, and definitely there's one more idea that you must have got a good idea that how interesting this whole conference is going to be. So stay tuned with us. You will be having great startup leaders and also the some government stakeholders of Odisha talking about how Odisha is now geared up and looking forward to a wonderful startup environment in the state. And I think Dr. Omkar Rai and his team is doing great work, and I think we'll see that how it's going on in Odisha. Stay tuned with us in the Odisha Startup Leadership Conclave. Thank you so much.